Why did Spain have an empire? Now, there are two answers to this question. The first was to provide raw materials to Spain that could be used for creating products. The second was to sell these new products to other countries, or even their own colonies, for higher prices. This markup generated income. This economic mode, where more products are exported than imported, is called mercantilism. When it worked, Spain accumulated a huge amount of wealth. To make mercantilism work, exports and imports must be highly regulated. Trade must be protected. Laws had to be enforced. Colonies were prohibited from making most consumer goods and were kept dependent on Spain for most things, besides the very basics of food, clothing, and shelter. Fine food, fancy clothes, and stylish home goods all came from over the sea. When pandemic diseases killed off many of the indigenous peoples, Spanish merchants sold enslaved Africans into Mexico starting around 1502. To ensure the steady production of raw materials, the Spanish also used other labor systems, like the encomienda, hacienda, or peonage. Powerful people, patrons, would be given control over villages and towns and would receive a portion of all the products produced there. They could also demand the campesinos living there to provide free labor for the patron's personal projects. While not true slavery, these systems often seemed very much like it. For Spain, protecting this trade required a powerful navy, which was expensive. Constant wars in Europe exposed it to a variety of raiders on the high seas. Pirates, freebooters, corsairs, and buccaneers of many nations preyed upon Spanish merchant ships. These raiders sold the plundered goods through illegal markets. Ignoring trade laws, also known as smuggling, also had an impact. The Spanish mercantilism system leaked money. To protect their ships, the Spanish turned to the convoy system. Veracruz on the Gulf of Mexico and Acapulco on the Pacific became the designation points of import and export for New Spain. Ships would gather there for an annual round trip. When goods arrived in Veracruz from Spain and from the Philippines and Asia at Acapulco, merchants held great trade fairs. Those that could bought all they could to resell at inflated prices. The further away you lived from these ports, the more expensive these items became. As a result, people living in remote Spanish Tejas routinely faced scarcity, hardship, and became really experienced smugglers.